Doom, dun, 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 dun. Doom, dun, 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 dun. What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. NBA Talk with Jay. It's Monday, NBA Talk with Jay, trying to get some cash. It's Us Against the Bookies. Only got 5 games on the card, guys. So just like I did last night, I'm gonna run through them. I'm gonna let you know what I like on it, and I'm gonna get out of here, man. I ain't here to waste your time. It's gonna be another 10-minute video. There's no point in me talking all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? The final score is the only thing that matters, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you guys know, hey, hit the if you know anybody that likes watching NBA shows or NBA picks, free picks, man, tell them to tune into the show, man. Tell them to watch J Money on YouTube, and I appreciate y'all for that. And also, if you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, my guys. Let's get straight to it, man. Let's go here to the streets of Philadelphia. In this one, this line was at 5 last night. It's up to 6. Actually, opened up at 4.5 in this one, guys. Sixers 9-1 straight up, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 meetings. And like I say, the Lakers have not shown any consistency as well. While they have won 7 out of the last 9, they haven't covered back-to-back games in the last 10-game stretch. You know what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, they'll cover a spread and then they'll drop a spread. And I could see that going on here once again as well. This is a NBA TV game. We know Joel Embiid likes to show out in these national TV games. It's going to be a really good matchup down low. Anthony Davis versus Embiid, but they also have guys like Tobias Harris that's playing big this year for whatever reason, man. I don't know what he's doing. I guess he saw that his contract was over. He was like, "All right, it's finally time for me to play now." The Sixers might not want me next year, but I got to play for somebody next year, and they got to pay me at least $20 million a year. So Tobias Harris has really turned back the clock. Now this starting five with the Sixers can play against the best of them. It's their bench what I always worry about. You see what I'm saying? But they did play 2 games on the road. This is 1 game at the house, then 2 more road games. But I'd still lean the Sixers here for whatever reason. Lakers just really haven't been putting together back-to-back strong showings when it comes to covering the spread in this one, and they're going to need another strong showing if they want to cover the spread versus a top-tier Philly starting five. The bench isn't horrible. They just don't really give them a ton of they don't give them a ton of scoring pop off the bench. But we know guys like Patrick Beverly and Robert Covington are going to take this game really serious from their time to being with the Clippers. They absolutely hate the Lakers over there, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this one. I do lean Sixers here for the simple fact that, like, that's the pattern with the Lakers. They don't cover back-to-back spread. So slight lean to the Sixers, but not enough for me to play. But I do think this is a game on national TV where Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid try to put things together, could possibly win this game by double digits. The Lakers, they'll win the spread, they'll cover a game, then they have a letdown, and it makes sense on this road trip as well. They beat the Cavs, LeBron going back to Cleveland. Now you probably going to lose to the 76ers. Then you got the Pistons next. You'll probably cover that game. Then you got the Thunder in the 4th game. The pattern could very well continue. Sometimes why you kind of have to just look into the future. So, because see the Lakers dropping this one, winning next game versus the Pistons and dropping the last one versus the Thunder. We got to follow the patterns. That's what the Lakers have shown us. Sixers probably get it done today, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Detroit in this one, man. I just came from Detroit not too long ago. I just bought a new whip from Detroit, man. Surprise! Hey, the Wizards taking money. This line was at 3, even 3.5 last night. It's coming down to 2.5 here. Some sharp money coming in on the Wizards. I don't buy it. I can only look towards the Pistons in this one, man. Both teams are desperate for a win, but after the Wizards have basically owned the Pistons for the last 8 games, they're on the 8-game winning streak versus the Pistons, and I believe they've won 9 of the last 10 versus the Pistons. That was when the Wizards were actually playing well. They're not playing well right now. This team has chemistry issues. There's good players on this team. They just seem like they don't really care about winning. It's either that or they're trying their best already early in the season to tank this season away, my guys. Just even the games that I remember, I'm watching the game versus the Hornets. That's why I took the Hornets live. I'm watching it. They had a 10-point lead, and it's like I'm saying, the shots they were taking, like contested threes, they were waiting until the shot clock will go all the way down and take a horrible contested 3 from like 35 feet. I've seen Kuzma do that twice. I'm like, are they trying to lose this game on purpose? And they definitely did lose, man. So Pistons, in my opinion, are more desperate for a win. They're at the house as well. When you got two teams on a lone losing streak, I like to trust the team at the house. That's why the Pistons are favored here in this one, man. Because if you could just look at the roster, you'd actually say the Wizards probably should be favored in this one. But the Pistons have lost 13 straight games. The Wizards have lost 9 straight. Just feel like the Pistons are more desperate for a win. They're at the house. They've lost 13 straight games. This feels like a spot where they should win the game. If they don't win this game, they're probably going to go on a 17-game losing streak because their next 3 games are really tough as well, guys. So Pistons -3 is the only way that I could look in this game. Wizards are taking sharp money, coming down to 2.5. Maybe if you could see if Poole is in, but if he's out, you got to look at Danny Avila props. You got to look for some props, somebody else on the Wizards, because they mean the ball will move a lot more. Maybe a Gallinari off the bench, but regardless, Pistons got Duran back. I know he came off the bench last game. Hopefully they start him today. Pistons -2.5 is the only way I can look in this game. I think they finally get off that 13-game losing streak tonight, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Indiana in this one. Pacers laying 12.5 at the house versus the Portland Trailblazers in this one. Blazers coming off a heartbreaking loss. This is a back-to-back. They just played the Bucks tough yesterday. I didn't really watch the game, but I'm looking at it on my phone, the score. I'm like, damn, man, this team is up 18 points on the Bucks in the first half. I said they came to play. They came out there and covered the first quarter with ease. That was like a playoff game yesterday versus the Bucks, but the better team usually always wins when it comes down to it, man. And you see the Bucks chipping away. That was a good live betting game as well, because when they were down 7, I was like, man, the Bucks finna come back and win this game. They're not losing to the damn Blazers. Before you know it, it's a tie game. And I was out at IKEA doing all type of shit, man. Missed out on some money. But Bucks yesterday was easy money to go out there and get the Blazers. Now you got the Blazers coming off that playoff type of game. Tough loss as well, heartbreaking loss versus the Bucks. Now you got to go play the fast-paced Pacers in this one. Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Do the Pacers probably get up and really care about this game? No, they don't. But the problem is the way the Pacers play, and if they're hitting their threes, they can blow out a team on accident. Now, this is against a Western Conference opponent. The Pacers have the best offense in the league by far. Their defense isn't the greatest, though, especially not when they're locked in. So I'm not laying 12.5 with the Pacers. They also have a 6-game road trip coming up as well. Now, do I lean the Blazers? Hell no. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. Pacers should be the player. Maybe look at their team total over or something, but I just don't think that the motivation is there. They got a couple games versus the Heat up on deck. Just a lot bigger fish to fry for the Pacers. They could win this game by a few points and not care, but it's a really tough game for me to call. Like I say, Blazers expended a ton of energy yesterday, but also, do I want to lay double digits with the Pacers? I do not. Now, their offense can blow out a team on accident, so I'm not telling you that you can't take the Pacers. I'm telling you I don't know what's going to happen in this game. I try to go through every game. You know what? The money, there's actually some sharp money coming in on the under in this game, man. It sounds crazy as hell. Total was up to 242 last night. It's come down to 240, man. So maybe they're thinking the Blazers are the type of team that can maybe slow down the Pacers. Obviously, the Blazers are more defensive style type of team. They don't really want to run and gun. They do have some good defenders out there. Shaedon Sharp's not a bad defender. Malcolm Brogdon, if he ended up playing on this back-to-back, remember, he just came back from an injury. Matisse Thybulle, he's a defensive guy. He's not going to give you much offense out there, man. So DeAndre Ayton could possibly play some defense here. So for whatever reason, the sharp money is coming in on the under here. I can't touch an under with the Pacers, but it is a little crazy, which we know everybody bets overs with the Pacers. I believe they're like 13-1, 14-1 on the season, if not 15-0 on the season to the over. But for whatever reason, the sharp money is coming in on the under in this one, my guys. I guess if it was an under, that would mean that Blazers team total under probably had to go under in this one. So it's probably not a bad look there. Let me see what this is. If it's going to go under, Blazers team total under would have to go under. So their team total opened up at 115. It's down to 113.5, even 112.5 at DraftKings. The team total for the Pacers has went up, opened at 126. It's up to 127.5 at DraftKings and 126.5 at other spots. So maybe they're saying they saying that under is mainly coming for Blazers team total under there. It's not a bad look there. Let's get over here to the streets of Utah in this one. Jazz getting 5 at the house versus the New Orleans Pelicans in this one, man. And we know the Pelicans just lost at the house versus the Utah Jazz. It was a letdown spot for the Pelicans. They came off the big win versus the Clippers, a tournament win as well. Then they said Zion. So we know that the Pelicans are a different team without Zion. And they were still up in their game by double digits. Now, Jazz were without Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen as well, but they could possibly be without him again today, man. I'm definitely going to wait to see or keep an eye on that, because even if one of those are out, Pelicans finna come out here trifecta style and smack this team up. Only reason why they didn't win last game was because they ran out of gas. It was a back-to-back road back-to-back from LA to Utah. We know Utah has one of the highest altitudes other than Denver in the NBA, my guys. It's the second highest altitude, man. So they ran out of gas in that fourth quarter. Jazz ended up getting the job done without Clarkson, without Laurie Markkinen. But even if they come back in this one, man, Pelicans got revenge here. They have equal rest this time. So now they've had a few days in Utah to get used to the altitude. They're not coming off of a game the night before. So these teams have equal rest in this one. They've lost 4 straight games versus the Utah Jazz, and they've also lost 4 straight in Utah as well. So this one kind of feels like the time that the Pelicans get some get back versus Utah. Obviously the Pelicans are they're a better, more complete team when it comes to offense and defense, especially with Zion in there. They got Najee Marshall back. They got Trey Murphy. No, not Trey. When they get Trey Murphy back, they're really gonna be nice. But they got Jose Alvarado back to bring the defensive energy off the bench as well. So this line was at 4.5 last night. It's up to 5 across the board. Like I say, you could keep an eye on Clarkson and Markkinen if you like. But I think regardless, Pelicans in the first half and the full game are the spots in this one. If Markkinen and Clarkson play, this line will go back down to maybe 3.5, 4. If they're out, it'll probably go up to 7. But obviously, if they're out, that should give you even more confidence to back the Pelicans in a bounce back spot. Zion back in this time around. This could be a trifecta spot for the Pelicans. But first half and full game is how I'd be looking at the Pelicans in this one, guys. Last game up. Let's go over here to the streets of LA in this one, guys. We got the Clippers laying 5.5 at the house versus the Denver Nuggets. This line opened up at 4. Quickly went to 4.5. Quickly went to 4.5. Then it was 5s last night, now to 5.5, even showing 6s at some spots. Wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets did rest some guys here, but even if they don't, just think it's a bad travel spot. I'm watching the game last night. I don't even know why they were up 20 points basically the whole game, especially the second half. Don't know why they put guys like Reggie Jackson, Jokic. They had Michael Porter Jr. in there with a few minutes left. Just didn't really make sense to me. But regardless, the Nuggets have played well versus the Clippers, but I don't think they do it today in this one, my guys. The Clippers have lost 7 in a row versus the Nuggets, so the Nuggets have damn near owned them. They did beat them one of those times in the preseason, but we know this is a Clippers team. But I'm watching them; they're starting to play a lot better. Their game versus the Mavs was a really good showing by the Clippers. It was even a back-to-back spot. They went out there trifecta style versus the Clippers in that one, man. Made a little bit of cash on that game, man. But they went out there in trifecta style versus the Mavs in that game, man. They're starting to play a lot more connected. They got Westbrook coming off the bench. He's bringing the energy. He went to the coaches like, hey, you can bring me off the bench, man. If you think that's going to make the team better, he's bringing the defense. That's what I really noticed versus the Mavs is that Terrence Mann, Paul George, Westbrook, these guys were playing incredible defense. Zubac was a beast on the boards. Now I know that they didn't have Lively in that one, but even Daniel Tice coming off the bench, Tice, whatever you want to call it, man. He was a energy, a force of nature off the bench as well, man. So they've won quietly. The Clippers have won 4 of the last 5 games. It's their 3rd straight home game. They hadn't had to travel anywhere. They have the major rest advantage as well. You got the Nuggets on 4 ATS and 1-3 straight up on the road after a home game. So when they play a home game, then they go on the road. They have not fared well so far this season. 0-4 against the spread, 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 games. So they just covered yesterday versus the Spurs by 0.5 point. Before that, they were 0-8 against the spread, in my opinion, man. So 6 game in 9 days for the Nuggets. They came off a 5-game road trip. They came home for 1 game, then traveled back out on the road home, on the home road back to back. I don't like the spot for the Nuggets here. I could only look towards the Clippers. I do have a haircut appointment today at 1 p.m. It's time to get a haircut, and they also have a double revenge spot versus the Rockets on deck as well. So not that they're looking ahead to the Rockets, but Rockets have smashed the Nuggets both times this season. I just feel like this is a spot where it could be possibly like a scheduled loss for the Nuggets in this one. That's why the line is where it is. Last time the Nuggets were up at 4.5. It was they were favored by 4.5 at the house versus the Clippers. I believe that line had opened up at 6, started to get hit down. This line's kind of telling us that the Clippers are the right side in this game. I like the clip show in this one, my guys. It's time to get out of here. If you don't like the picks, I do this show to let you know what I'm looking at on these games, guys. I'm never here to tell you that something is 100% locked. I'm not even here to tell you that you have to bet these plays that I'm liking, my guys. I bring you the info, and it's up to you guys to say, hey, look, all right, I want to bet this. You know what I'm saying? Remember, it's your money, and you have to manage your bankroll on your own. That's not something that I can do. I'm here to let you know what I'm liking on the games, what I think is going to win, and then I get up out of here, my guys. It's all love, man. On the Sixers game, if I was betting it, I'd be looking towards the Sixers minus the 6 in that one. Pistons game. If I was betting that one, I'd be looking towards the Pistons minus the 2.5. And that one, sharp money coming in on the Wizards, I don't respect it. I could only look towards the Pistons. And that one, they've lost their 13 straight. Seem like the more desperate team in this one. In that Pacers game, I'd actually be looking towards Blazers team total under. That's something that I kind of just talked out here on the show. I'd like to lean towards the Pacers. We know that they're the better team, but you also might not get a full. I feel like to lay 12.5 with the Pacers, they'd need to be coming off a loss and pissed off and ready to blow somebody out. That's not necessarily the case, but they have been at the house. Going a 6-game road trip after this. I don't really know what's going to happen in that game. The sharp money's coming in on the under. It's mainly coming in on the Blazers team total under, and it makes sense as well because that way you don't have to mess with if the Pacers put up 130 on their ass. Just take the Blazers to try to muck the game up. You see what I'm saying? Blazers team total under 115. I'm not sure if they got there all season, my guys. Pelicans game, if you could wait on Clarkson and Markin if you'd like. I think regardless, though, I'm only looking towards Pelicans in the first half and the full game in the bounce back spot. They got equal rest now. They got Zion back this time around. They're just on a little bit of a different level than the Utah Jazz, my guys. So they've lost 4 in a row versus Utah. This feels like the time where the Pelicans finally go out there and get over that hump in Utah, get over the mountain in Utah over there. The last game, the Clippers could only look towards the Clippers. This could be a trifecta spot for the Clippers in this one. First half, full game. I think the Clippers come out here and smack the Nuggets up, finally get some revenge. They're starting to play a lot better. Harden's starting at least a little bit more like Houston Rockets Harden, or maybe even Philadelphia Harden in this one, guys. So like the Clippers last night at the 4.5, I told you that on last night's show, it's up to 5.5. I'd still like it. Could possibly be some guys out for the Nuggets. Just a bad travel spot for the Nuggets here. Could possibly be somewhat like a scheduled loss in this one. I think the Clippers put it on them by double digits, my guys. That's the show. It's all love, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I got my brother's hat on today. See what I'm saying? Let's get this cash. It's Us Against the Bookies, man. I got a haircut appointment at 1. Let's go get a haircut one time for the one time, man. We out. Let's go. Let's get some cash.